I didn't plan to stay long. The invitation had surprised me when it arrived months earlier. Thick paper, gold lettering, my name written carefully, as if someone had debated whether to send it at all. I almost didn't go. But curiosity has a quiet way of persuading you. The venue sat outside the city, a restored estate that looked as if it had been designed to impress people who were already used to being impressed. Polished stone, tall glass walls, servers gliding through the crowd with trays balanced like small sculptures. I stood near the garden doors, out of the way. Most people there wore wealth comfortably, the kind that didn't need explanation. Their laughter moved easily through the room. For a while, no one noticed me. That was fine. Then he saw me. Daniel had aged well in the way success tends to shape people. The tailored suit, the confident shoulders, the small crowd of men around him who laughed a little too quickly at everything he said. When his eyes landed on me, his smile paused. Recognition came a second later. He walked over with that same old charm that had once convinced me we were building something real. "Lena," he said. My name sounded like a memory he wasn't sure he wanted. A few of his friends followed, curious. Someone asked how we knew each other. Daniel answered before I could. "Oh, Lena and I go way back," he said lightly. "Back before life got ambitious." There was a ripple of polite laughter. Ambitious. There was a ripple of polite laughter. I felt the familiar shift in him, the one that used to happen at business dinners years ago, when he began editing his past to match the future he wanted. He gestured vaguely toward me. "She always preferred the simple life," he added. Small-town clinic work, quiet routines, never really chased the bigger opportunities. It was framed as nostalgia, but the undertone wasn't kind. One of the men asked what I did now. "I work in regulatory investigations," I said. Daniel chuckled softly. "See," he said, "still saving the world one boring file at a time." The group laughed again, not cruelly, just comfortably. I didn't argue. There's a moment during public mockery where you can feel the room deciding who holds weight and who doesn't. It's subtle, invisible, but it's real. I had already decided not to participate. Then the music shifted, and the bride walked over. I had only seen her in photographs before. Elise moved through the room with the calm confidence of someone who had spent her life in rooms like this. Her dress caught the afternoon light like it had been designed specifically for this moment. She came up beside Daniel and rested a hand lightly on his arm. "What are you all laughing about?" Daniel smiled. "Just introducing old history," he said. Then he turned slightly. "Elise, this is Lena." She looked at me, and everything stopped. It was subtle at first, a tightening around her eyes, the kind professionals learn to hide quickly. But she didn't hide it fast enough. Recognition arrived like a door opening somewhere behind her thoughts. Her hand slid slowly off Daniel's arm. "Dr. Lena Karim," she said quietly. Her voice had changed. The group around us shifted, sensing the difference. Daniel frowned slightly. "You two know each other?" Elise didn't answer him immediately. Her eyes stayed on me, searching for confirmation she clearly didn't want. I gave a small nod. For a moment the room held its breath. Then she exhaled slowly. "Oh my God," she whispered. Daniel laughed, confused. "What? Did Lena treat you at some point?" Elise finally looked at him. The expression on her face was no longer social. It was procedural. "Daniel," she said carefully, "why didn't you tell me your former partner worked with the National Compliance Authority?" The air shifted. The men beside him stopped smiling. Daniel blinked. "What?" Elise turned back to me. "You're the lead investigator assigned to the Meridian Financial Review." I didn't answer right away. Technically, that information wasn't classified. It had been public for 2 weeks. But Daniel hadn't read the notice. "Yes," I said. Silence spread through the small circle. Someone nearby coughed. Daniel stared at me, the pieces moving slowly across his face. Meridian was his company. The investigation had been announced quietly routine according to the press release. But inside the industry, people understood what those words meant. Elise's shoulders straightened. "This creates a serious conflict of interest," she said almost to herself. Only then did I remember what she did for a living. Elise wasn't just a bride. She was a senior compliance attorney for the same federal oversight body that supervised our department. Daniel spoke again, his voice tighter. "This is ridiculous. Lena's just—" Elise raised a hand, not dramatically, but firmly enough that he stopped. "Daniel," she said quietly, "this is exactly the kind of undisclosed relationship that requires immediate reporting." The men around him had gone very still. "What are you talking about?" he said. Elise didn't look angry, she looked tired. "If I marry you today without disclosing this connection," she said, "I violate my own professional ethics." The word ethics settled heavily in the space. Daniel looked from her to me and back again. I didn't move. I hadn't come for this. But truth has a way of walking into rooms without asking permission. Elise turned toward the hall where the ceremony guests were gathering. "I need to make a call," she said. Daniel reached for her arm. "Wait." She gently stepped away. "I can't," she said. Then she left the group. The laughter from earlier felt like it belonged to a different afternoon. No one spoke. Daniel stared at me like he was seeing a stranger. I gave him a small nod. Not triumph, just acknowledgement. Then I stepped toward the garden doors and walked outside. The evening air felt cooler than before. Inside the estate, the music had stopped. Guests were beginning to whisper. I didn't wait to see what happened next. Some consequences don't need an audience.